Comey putting out the weird cryptic message on his Instagram over the weekend. That was a big story. 8647. Aw shucks. He's playing dumb and innocent after essentially calling for Trump's assassination last week, claiming he had no idea his post would be so controversial.
You are back in the middle of a political firestorm.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Jim.
For walking on the beach with my wife, so.
Oh, he's a victim now. He was just walking on the beach with his wife when MAGA just decided to unleash a shitstorm onto his life.
I don't know how we ended up here. It never occurred to me that it was any kind of controversial thing, but that's the time we live in.
Well, let's see. From an outsider perspective, that was pretty bad what he did. That was really stupid and potentially scandalous. But he doesn't see it because he's got like stage 4 TDS.
Take me back to the walk on the beach.
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells.
Walking around on the beach with his wife, and just magically, suddenly, just sees a display of seashells. If you want to believe his story, let's hear it.
With numbers, and Patrice, my wife, said, "Why would someone put an address in the sand?" And I said, "I don't know." And we stood over it, and I said,
I'm having a hard time accepting this version of the story. So they're just walking along the beach, and apparently somebody just magically in his pathway, and they saw the 8647 sitting there, and his wife innocently just saying, "Oh, is that someone's address? Let's just hover over it and take a look and wonder what that means. Oh, 8647. That's Donald Trump." Well, okay, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Hold on.
You know, I think it's some kind of like political message.
Oh, it's a political message.
She said, 86 when I was a server. She did a lot of work.
Oh, so they just broke it down right there, and they just figured it out on their own. Yeah, so she's a server, and I was a bartender and a server. I worked in casinos for a long time, so you could say 86, an item from the menus. You might 86 somebody from the casino because they're a cheater or they're a drunk or whatever. There are the expressions, but it also means something a little more sinister, and James Comey knows that because he was a top mafia prosecutor for the Gambino. Head lead prosecutor against the Gambino family, and that's 86ing means to take somebody you kill 8 miles out of town and bury him 6 feet under. So, and then he's just sitting here playing so stupid. And I don't believe that they just stumbled upon it. I think they actually put this together, which is also disturbing. It's one thing just to see it and then just hovering and trying to figure it out and then realizing, it's a clever thing against Trump. And we'll just take a picture of it and it's all good. And I didn't even think anything of it. He's such a shameless lying hack. It's just embarrassing. I think they put this together. I think he's so consumed by his TDS and his deep fear of prosecution from Trump that he somehow is just the mental gymnastics that go on his head and his obsessions, and they actually made this. Or maybe his wife did, and he took a picture. Hey, let's grab a bunch of seashells. But then how do you go from there to like, hey, let's make this into a political message and let's make the 8647. I need a better explanation for it, and there isn't one, and he knows it, and he's caught. Because it makes sense to him and his wife and maybe his little inner circle, but for the rest of us, I'm trying to figure out how this actually all came to be, and I'm not buying any of his BS story.
In restaurants meant to remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said, you should take a picture of that. And I did. And I posted it on my Instagram account. And thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy. But I took it down. I don't even.
just crazy, isn't it, Jim? You're such a liar. And you go on a journalist show, you know it was going to be a friendly interview. She's not going to push back on this at all. Insane. I know there's another clip.
Even if I think it's crazy, I don't want to be associated with violence of any kind.
Bullshit. If Trump got whacked, he would be the first. He would be celebrating very quickly.
Tell us about, take us through all of the ways he sought to investigate you. He's been tweeting about investigating you and prosecuting you, I think, since 2007.
Yeah. So that would mean you are in deep fear of this man coming after you. And you are so consumed by this that it's making you do weird shit, like sitting on a beach, assembling a fucking seashell sculpture about fantasizing to take out your political rival before he takes you down. Something like that, Jim. I mean, I would love to do this interview if they could give it to me. I'd have some different questions and pushback than this intelligence asset, Nicole Wallace.
But just again and again and again, I really thought that I was done. I was in another life. I was a grandfather and an author wearing, sweaters and jeans.
Aww.
And then I went for a walk on the beach and posted.
Oh, I was just an innocent grandfather in my sweatpants and on the beach. And I just saw this little seashell thing and we didn't know it was an address and maybe it's something. And, I took a picture and then people started getting angry. Oh, poor me.